So yeah, Death's Toll, Death's Embrace. Yes, they're doing the 3% max health mana. That's kind of crazy. This is so strong. Wait, 2200 gold. So you do have to pay gold to upgrade them. So you have to wait until level 20 and then you pay gold to upgrade them. Does anyone know if this is 2200 on top of the 700 or if it's like 2200 total? Because that's like a difference of like 700 gold, right? Either way though, even if this is 2900, it's still kind of insane. AEC physical power is like the most of any item, I think. 140 magical is up there, 200 health, and then 3% hitting an enemy with a basic attack. That includes minions. That's crazy. These star items look really broken. Death's Temper, 50 magical, 50 physical, 75 magical, 30% attack speed, 100 health. You gain a stack of Temper that provides 3.5% increased basic attack power for 10 seconds with a max of 10 stacks. And then you get 5 stacks immediately. So what? That's 35% increased basic attack power. A lot of these are similar to the data mined ones, actually. They haven't changed too much. They just seem like super strong, dude. Like, really strong. Has to be 2900 total. I would think so. But I don't know, honestly. So Gilded Arrow is like Hunter's Blessing, basically. But every 10 seconds, a nearby enemy minion is marked, prioritizing the highest health minion if you secure the killing blow. So if you last hit that minion, you get bonus gold and 20% attack speed for 8 seconds. That's a pretty big deal for like boxing and clearing the wave and stuff. So this is the one that has like the kind of mini game in it. When you kill an enemy, you gain 10 gold and 20% attack speed, stacking up to 3 times. So this basically just allows it to stack 80 basic attack damage. Is crazy, dude. It's actually nuts. All sources of gold gain are increased by 20%. For every 100 gold you gain. Oh, I assume that means you have in hand. You gain 1% attack speed. And yeah, so that stacks to 25% attack speed and 20% crit, 60 basic attack damage, 150 health. These items are crazy, dude. You're never selling these. They're mentioned on the patch notes that like maybe you could sell them or whatever. You're never selling these. These are the most efficient items in the entire game. Even if this is 2900 and not 2200, it's still absolutely ridiculous. That'll be pretty bad late game. Not really. As long as you're just making sure you're holding 1000 gold, this item is so efficient. Ridiculous. 25% attack speed, 60 basic attack damage, 20% crit. That's already the best crit item in the game. Plus 150 health. Leather Cowl. Power, Lifesteal. So this is physical only. While you're near an allied god, you gain 10% attack speed. While alone, you get 5% movement speed. So this is like maybe a jungler item. You have like attack speed when you're ganking, movement speed to move around the jungle. I don't see this really being useful in a lane. Maybe like the ADC could get it when they're around their support, but I imagine the support would rotate and then you're going to lose the passive benefit, and you don't really need movement speed in the lane. Yeah, it's almost like every god is right. You're kind of right on that. While they're an ally god, you gain 25% attack speed aura, so it's basically a Shogun's. If alone, you gain 10% movement speed. This one seems weak, which is crazy to say because this, if it was just an item, would be busted. But compared to the other ones, this seems a bit weak, honestly. Like, the stats on it are good. The base stats alone, very solid. And then, like, when you're in team fights, it's like a Shogun's. If you're not, it's like a Talaria boots, kind of. Can it stack with Shogun's? I would guess it does. Would be my guess. And then we have 40 power, 300 health, 15% lifesteal. For each nearby friendly god, you gain a stack of Outnumber. For each enemy god, you lose one. Each stack of Outnumber provides 3% increased power to all nearby allied gods. So basically, if you have more people around than you have enemies, you're going to get extra like power. Once again, kind of weak. I feel like if you're already winning the fight, like you're up by 1 or 2 people, you've won the fight anyway, right? Do you really need this? Yeah, this seems like the weakest one so far. I'm not sure what's happening with the Assassin's Blessing thing, Arya. I think Maybe you have like multiple options, but there's no like dedicated Assassin's Blessing item from what I've seen. Warrior's Axe, cheaper than the other ones, 600 instead of 700. Health, prots, damage reduction. So this is Warrior's Blessing. Steal 25 health. This is basically exactly like Warrior's Blessing. 600 gold is interesting though. That leaves you with 900. You could get like a tier 1 item and Chalice potentially if it was a cheap tier 1 item. Cowls are for AA solos. Why would you need movement speed in solo though? You only get the attack speed with the cowls if you're nearby a friendly god. You're not going to be nearby a friendly god if you're in solo. Sundering Axe. Health, protections, flat damage reduction. 10% current health and restores it to you. This seems kind of good. Just like when you're trading in solo, just constantly like every 7 seconds hitting them for 10% of their current health and healing. That seems really strong. Like the base stats aren't amazing relative to other starter items, but the passive is super good there. Yeah, alternate timeline's the revive item, isn't it? This one looks really interesting to me. I've seen this in a data mining, so health, protections, very similar stats to the base value actually. 30% CCR, super underrated stat. 30% of this is actually kind of crazy. And then when an ally god around you within 55 units gets hit by a hard crowd control, you give them a shield equal to 10% of your maximum health. Not theirs, yours. So if you're a soul lane warrior with 3,000 health, you just give them a 300 health shield. just casually. At the perfect time as well, because they've just been hit by a CC, they're going to need a health shield. Like, obviously you can play around it. You can throw out like a random bait CC and proc it before you go in. But that still seems kind of nuts, dude. Cthulhu item, it could be. Ult with Cthulhu, and then like when you get hit by a CC, you get like 500 health shield. But this is basically a Geb shield, right? Without the cleanse. There we go, Bluestone Pendant. Enemies hit by damaging abilities take 25 physical damage. Yeah, it's basically identical to all Bluestone Pendant. Similar to Mage's Blessing in its current form. We have Bluestone Brooch. Trash stats. Like, even for non-starter items, trash stats. But the regen is kind of nice. But the thing is, these come online at level 20. You don't need HP 5 and MP 5 as much at level 20. And then they take 25 plus 7.5% of current health. We saw this in the show match, actually. So, because it's current health, it doesn't seem that good. If this was max health, it'd be insane. But current health keeps it in check a little bit. Okay, I'll link you the notes once more. There you go. That's notes. And then Corrupted Bluestone. Slightly better stats, because like you much prefer the power to a little bit of regen. They take 75 damage over 5 seconds and reduced attack speed by 10%. For every enemy afflicted, you gain attack speed. That's a weird one. That's very specific. That's something that like a character with easy hitting abilities that can proc it, but also has basic attacks. Maybe Erlang. This could be good on Erlang. Because like your 1 counts as ability damage, so this would your 1 would proc this. Maybe good on Erlang. Upgrades seem to cost like 1,500 each. Wait, is this the total cost of the item, not the upgrade cost? That's kind of nuts. Very cheap. Notes aren't working. Yeah, notes were being a bit temperamental. I managed to get them up. I think maybe they're trying to hide them because they want to do them on stream or something. I haven't used my voice this much in a while, boys. It's kind of going on me. So, Warding Sigil. 100 health, 15 magical protection only. Whenever you're hit by an ability, you get a stack of dampening, decreasing your damage taken by 5. This occurs only once per ability cast and gets stacked twice. Weird item. The fact that it only has magical protection means you can only go it if you know you're in a magical matchup. You're not buying it in mid, so you're only really looking to buy this in solo, I think, if you know you're up against like a Guardian or a Mage. 200 health, 75 magical protection. Whenever you hit, you're going to stack a Rebuke, decreasing damage taken by 4%, so this is the better version. 12% damage decrease is very nice, like for sure. But the base stats aren't amazing. This is like worse than Pestilence base stats. And considering these starter items are better than a regular item most of the time, this doesn't look amazing to me, but 12% damage reduction can't be understated, dude. That could be pretty powerful. Thing is that the base starter item is like really only applicable in solo in a magical matchup. You're not buying this anywhere else, I feel like. 350 health, 25 of each prots. Whenever you're hit by an ability, you gain a stack. Once per ability cast, a 5-stack 6 balls dealing magical damage. Yeah, so this is sort of like almost like a Pribwin effect. This is better, I think, because it's a little more applicable. You know, tons of health and like balanced protections. Okay, so we were at Vampiric Shroud. They kind of went over it, but yeah, we'll go over it because there's like actual stats here. So we have 15 power, 75 health, 15 fizz protections, 5% lifesteal. So a lot of stats actually just for the base cost, but it is expensive. This one's one of the more expensive ones we've seen. Damaging enemies with an ability gives you 6 health and 6 mana. So basically the exact same as all Vampiric Shroud that we had. My voice is soothing. Nice. So Bloodsoaked Shroud, this is the one where you get like stacking magical lifesteal that can stack infinitely. Thing is, it's not really infinite because they do wear off after 6 seconds, but like as long as you're staying in combat and keeping hitting things with abilities, it can stack infinitely. Base stats are okay. Okay for starter items, I mean. This would be nuts for a regular item, but probably about on average, maybe a little higher than average. Is this for magical solos? Yeah, magical solos or magical mids. In the past, Vamp Shroud was good both in solo and in mid. So that would be my guess. And then this one, I really like the look of this one, Sacrificial Shroud. So 100 power, 100 health, 20 prots, 15% lifesteal. Your abilities deal 15% more, but cost 5% max health. So basically, every character can be Thanatos. Or, excuse me, every magical character can be Thanatos. So you can't build this on Thana and stack it with your thing, but basically it's like, if you want to be a super glass cannon mid lane mage, you can do that. It's basically what this is. We have Sands of Time. Basically Mage's Blessing, or like Sands of Time from the past, if you guys are familiar with that one. The upgrade, Pendulum of Ages, 90 power, 20 MP5, 10% cooldown reduction, 4 MP5 per 10% missing mana, and 7 magical power per 10% of available mana. So if you're at full mana, your first ability after full mana is going to have 70 additional power, 160 power, but obviously that comes down as you use more abilities. This doesn't seem crazy to me. Even at the absolute maximum, it's 160 power, 10% cooldown reduction. Is that insane? Not really. Rod of Tahuti gives, I think, 150 power. So, like, not crazy, to be completely honest with you. This is what everyone's freaking out about. The Revive item. So, it can be upgraded from Sands of Time at level 20. 45 power, 45... I assume this means they're both protections. Normally when they say just protections, it means they're both. MP5 cooldown reduction. When you die, you find an alternate timeline when you were alive, becoming CC and damage immune, unable to act after 1.75 seconds. You are restored to 25% health and mana and can act again. 10-minute cooldown. This was 6 minutes in the data mining, so they've clearly taken the reaction of the community to the data mined version and upped it. People are freaking out about this. It's not gonna break the game, guys. You can chill. You can chill. 10 minutes is a ridiculously long time. 10 minutes is half of a game sometimes. Like, it's not going to have a massive impact on the meta. It's going to be annoying and cheesy sometimes. 10-minute cooldown when you're investing your most powerful item into this. The stats on it... Actually, no, the stats on it are okay. I take that back. The stats aren't too bad because it gives 45 of each prots. But you're going defensive. So, like, if you're going this on a mid lane mage, you're losing a lot of damage. You're only getting 45 power from this item. 10-minute cooldown is ridiculous. You're going to get this off once per game. Because this comes online at level 20, which is roughly around 22 minutes into the game. 20 to 25 minutes is when you're hitting level 20. Once you use this, it's going to be 35 minutes before you can use it again. It's most likely going to be a once per game thing. Maybe twice if your game goes very long. It's not going to break the game. You don't need to freak out. It's gonna be cheese, is what this item's gonna be. Just selling and rebuying the item, reset the cooldown. I assume you can't sell and rebuy it. Would be my guess. Conduit Gem, 30 power, 15 MP5. Every second you get a stack of arcane energy, causing your next damaging ability to deal an additional 2 true damage and remove all stacks. So 20 times. So if you wait 20 seconds, you get 40 true damage. That's not insane. There's like the Warrior's Blessing thing that does 25 health on a 10-second cooldown, and that steals it. It's not true damage, granted, but because it steals it, it's effectively 50 non-true damage versus 40 true damage. It's about the same. And this takes longer to stack up. I don't think this is going to be a major problem, honestly, despite it being true damage. Archmage's Gem, the upgraded version, 100 power, 25 MP5. This does an additional 2.5% of power. Oh, okay, so 20, so it does an additional 50% of your power? That's pretty huge, actually. 50% of your power late game when you're getting this item online is going to be about 350 extra damage. That's kind of nuts, I have to say. I just think like your still a 1-2 combo that might have left them on like 200 to 300 health is going to kill them now. Granted, the stats kind of suck. Like these stats really aren't great for a full item, but the passive is kind of crazy on that one. 90 power, 150 health, 15 MP5. Every time you cast an ability that costs mana, you gain a stack of focus for 10 seconds, providing movement speed, damage increase, and damage taken reduction. Stacks up to 3 times. So this is for mages that have like spam like Hebo, right? Low cooldown spam mages. This is what you want. 6%, like if you do have this passive fully stacked, it's an insanely efficient item. So as long as you can keep that fully stacked. They last 10 seconds, so like I think this is strong. I think this is pretty good, honestly. If you get the stacks, it's 9% speed, 9% damage increase. So you can kind of take that as like 9% power, a little bit more than 9% power. And then 6% DR. You can't change them once you leave base. Yeah, I thought so. Like, I assume they work similar to Blessings in that way. We have Boomba's Dagger. So this is the main jungle item by the looks of it, but there are other items that can work as a jungle item. So health and mana, very cheap. You're going to be able to get a tier 1 tier 1 item with this, plus potions, and be totally fine. Plus Hog if you need it, if that's still in the game. 15 true damage, abilities 30%. This is basically Assassin's Blessing. Nothing crazy here. Boomba's Spear, 60 physical, 90 magical, 200 health, 200 mana. 50 true damage at 50% versus jungle. This is the interesting part. Jungle bosses are included in this part. So if you do upgrade to this one, you're going to deal an additional 50 true damage per basic attack and 50% bonus ability damage to jungle bosses. You can burn stuff really fast with this. Like, think about it. If you're an Erlang jungle or a Nem jungle or a Set jungle, how quickly you're going to be able to burn objectives. It's going to be kind of insane. When any of these die, you heal for 10% health. That counts for bosses, I assume. 10% of Fire Giant's health is probably going to be a lot, right? And then additional gold as well. Yeah, blessings are being taken out, and they're completely replaced by these start rhymes. And then Boomer's Hammer. This is the one that was going to be a stun, but I think they changed it. So 300 health, 200 mana, 10% cooldown, 10% penetration. Oh, 10% penetration is interesting. After casting an ability, your next basic attack deals an additional 80 true damage. And after hitting that basic attack, your active cooldowns are reduced by 1 second, and you're healed for 5% max health and mana. Oh, not max health and mana, just max health. Interesting. First glance, I don't think it's that good. The stats on it are a little underwhelming compared to the other starters, and the passive is like pretty average. Hammer on a Wheelix? Could be good, yeah. Anyone that wants to basic attack cancel, I guess maybe on Thor or something, like when you're doing your combo, you're going to get that extra true damage. I don't know if it's crazy though. I have the jungle, 10 physical, 20 magical power, 15 HP 5, 20% attack speed on a 650 gold item. That's kind of good, dude. This is one of the better, like, statted base items. You deal increased damage to jungle monsters, so this is an alternate jungle item. Upon defeating a large one, you place a ward. So this allows you to ward on invades and also ward your own camps. More relevant as well because the new map has a lot more jungle camps for you to sort of mess around with. Seer of the Jungle, 60 physical power, 90 magical power, 20 physical protection, 20% attack speed, 30% increase to jungle camps and bosses. You gain the ability... Yeah, this is the one where you can see wards. I can see a world where you have to buy this as a jungler in like high level play. Being able to hunt down wards for 10 seconds almost negates the need to even buy sentries or just augments your existing sentries. In high level play, I can see this becoming like the go-to jungle item. And there may be a split there where like low level play you don't need this, but like SPL and high level play you do need this. I can definitely see a world where that's the case. Or it's going to be trash. It's going to be one of those two things. This isn't going to be ubiquitous in every level of play, I don't think. Protector of the Jungle, 65 power, 100 magical power, 35 protection, 35% attack speed. That's a lot of attack speed. Oh yeah, this is the one they showed. I think this is going to be really good. 1, it's cheap. 2, it's a good jungle starter item anyway. The base form is very good. 3, stats are very good. 65 physical power, 35 physical protection, 35% attack speed. Stats are really good. And then this, most jungle team fights happen in the jungle. I would say like 80%, maybe 70% of the absolute lowest of late game team fights, like past level 20, happen in the jungle. You're going to be getting this passive effect most of the time. So if you can say we take this as 80% of the value, that's what? 12, 13%? You could take as like an average. This seems really good. Base form is also really good. I have high hopes for this as like a jungle item. I think maybe Eye of the Jungle is going to be the go-to. So you got Eye of the Jungle, and if you feel like you need this effect, maybe you're in high level play, you can go for that. If not, you just go for this. Just a pile of stats. I think this is going to be really strong, this Eye of the Jungle. Yeah, Manikin's also meant for jungle. Alright, Bluffk, I'll link the patch notes one more time. I seem to be the only one with the patch notes link. There we go. Okay, here's Manikin Scepter, the third, like, meant for jungle item. But obviously, a lot of items can flex into different roles. 750 gold, a little more expensive. 10 basic attack damage. Physical protection is good because it protects against camps. Damage reduction also good because camps do a lot of small, like, flurry attacks. Enemies hit by your basic attacks are burned, taking 20 physical damage and have their attack speed reduced by 7%. Jungle monsters take 2.5 times the damage. So, 50. Stacks up to 4 times, can be upgraded at level 20. Manikin Mace, 50 basic attack damage, 100 health, 30 protections, 8 damage reduction. They take 60. Attack speed slowed by 10%. Jungle monsters and bosses take quadruple damage. This is what I'm scared of. Each basic attack does 250 extra damage. 240 extra damage, sorry. So like jungle monsters and bosses, you could burn fire giants so quick with this. The sites crash. It's a good job I got patch notes up in time then. This seems kind of good, like... The base stats kind of suck, but 240 damage per basic attack to an objective. Imagine like Erlang Shen with this, dude. Like Erlang Shen at the attack speed cap with his chain that works really well with on-hit effects. I bet you could solo Fire Giant with Erlang using this. Second option, Manikin Hidden Blade. 75 basic attack damage, 30 prots, 5 damage reduction. If you have not taken or dealt damage in the last 5 seconds, this is the one they bought in this show match, I think. They immediately take 15% current health as physical damage. So this isn't quite as good in terms of burning objectives. It is good. You just initiate with this hit and they immediately take 15% current health. It is physical damage, so it won't be like chunk 15%. It'll be more like chunk 10% or something because of protections. But good initiation, but you can't steal. It's not max health, it's current health. Really good initiation of a fight though. Like I'm going to use Thor as an example. You probably don't buy this on Thor, but like Thor ult into a fight. You haven't taken or dealt damage. You just instantly do 15% of their current health on the ult hit and then combo them down. Could be interesting. Support ones here. Sentinel's Gift, uber cheap. You have 1,000 gold to work with after this. So you can get like a tier 1 item, chalice and some extra pots, or like maybe wards or something. Very cheap. This is basically Guardian's Blessing. You get health and mana back on assists, and you get bonus gold just to keep you caught up in farm. And if you're not near an ally god for 20 seconds, the passive disables. We have Sentinel's Gift. So these are level 17 instead of level 20 for the support items, because supports tend to be like behind in XP. 300 health, 45 of each procs, 20 MP5. Assisting an enemy target dying provides 15 bonus gold on resource 3%. So every minion wave you're getting 18% of your max health and mana back. That seems good to me. Obviously it's late game, so you're not going to be always like grouping up around a full wave and doing this kind of stuff, but yeah, I feel like the bonus gold isn't as relevant late game, although for supports maybe it is. Level 17 is actually quite early to get this online. You've still got a good chunk of the game left to go unless you're getting stomped. So, could be good. 200 health, 20 of each procs, 20 MP5. This is the one that looks insane to me, Sentinel's Embrace. Evenly split 120 of each protections among all nearby allied gods and yourself. If you're alone, you only gain 60. So if you're stood with just your ADC with this in the backline, you get 60, they get 60 of each. Plus 200 health, plus 20 on the base item, so you get 80. They get 60, 200 health. That's insanely efficient. If you stood in your backline with your mid and your ADC, mid gets 40, ADC gets 40, you get 60, while you get 80. Seems insanely good. Where's the cost? Oh yeah, you're right. No cost, but I assume quite cheap based on the fact that the base form is cheap. And this coming online at level 17, that's right when you're starting to team fight and you want this kind of effect. I think this is going to be really good. Like really, really good. We have Benevolence, the second Guardian starter item. More expensive, this one. Health, regen. This is one where you gain, yeah, so gain 2 gold per 5. That means 2 gold every 5 seconds. And 1 XP P5. 1 XP every 5 seconds. Plus 0.5 per level. So by the time you get to level 17 and you're upgrading this thing, you're going to be at, I can't do maths, 8.5? 10.5 gold per 5 and 9.5 XP per 5 is what you're going to be at. And that's going to like ramp up. There's a lot of math to be done on this item that I'm not going to try and do on stream, but someone can lab this item and figure out exactly what it's going to give you at certain stages of the game and figure out whether it's going to be good. I can't do that on stream. That's going to break my brain. And anytime you're getting experience or gold from an enemy dying, you only take 90% and you share 10%, so you can like get your ADC or your mid more fed, I guess. Compassion, 300 health, 30, some regen basically. Damage taken by nearby allies is reduced by 15% up to a maximum of 100 damage. The reduced damage is redirected to you as magical damage. If this redirected damage to kill you, it does not get redirected. So this is kind of similar to this in a way, in that you're going to stand in your backline and you basically protect your backline. But I don't see why you would ever want this over this. This just seems way better. Like this with Thebes, you're giving your backline as like 70 pros. Ridiculous. This is okay, but I don't see why you would ever buy it over Sentinel's Embrace, really. Have we seen... No, we haven't seen this one. Animosity. 400 health, regen. Your basic attack deals bonus damage equal to 4% max health as magical damage. Doubled against structures. So this one makes no sense to me, because why would a support need this kind of effect? I'm guessing if you don't have nearby allies, you don't share the gold, right? If that's the case, maybe you could buy this in solo. On like a passive solo lane Guardian or something. But I'm just thinking Erlang Shen with this, dude. 4% of your max health on Erlang Shen basics. My guess is it won't proc on Yom's basics, because Yom basics don't proc stuff like Demonic Grip. It probably won't proc this either. But on like Erlang, 4% of your max health, say you have 3k health, that's reasonable. 4% of 3k is 120. 120 extra damage on all your basics. Plus 400 health. Not bad. Not bad at all. Very specific to a few certain characters, but pretty strong, I think. We have War Flag, which is the final supply item. This one's more like aimed at being aggressive. This was an item in the game before. Available to both classes. 100 health, MP5. Being in range of a minion or jungle camp death without dealing the killing blow restores 6 health and 6 mana to all allies within 55 units. And also provides allies with a stacking self buff of 1% speed and 2% attack speed. So very similar to the old War Flag, if any of you guys were around when that was a thing. War Flag wasn't good at all. It was like very niche on a couple of certain characters. I'm not sure if there's any difference in stats based on the other one, but we'll see. War Banner, 30 physical, 60 magical power, 300 health, 15 MP5. And you have an amped up effect where it's 1% health and mana instead of like a flat 6. Sorry, boys. It's not Corona, I promise. I've just been talking for like 3 hours straight. Provides allies with a stacking self of a 2% movement speed and 4% attack speed. So you can get up to 40% attack speed from this, but most likely in late game team fights, you're not going to get this stacked up too much, which is why I think this item kind of has problems. Like, why would you need this effect in a late game team fight that's happening in the jungle? Pretty good on sieges, I guess. I don't know. I think this is a bit trash, honestly. When you could go for this, why would you ever want the War Flag? This just seems like it's going to overshadow every other support item to me. And then Spartan Flag, 40 physical, 65 magical power, 300 health, regen. When you damage an enemy god, you call down a Spartan Flag at your location, providing increased power to all allies standing in the radius. So it's kind of like a Hachi Flag, I guess. 10% increased power is nice, but Smite's not a stationary game. You're going to activate this, maybe stand in it for a tiny amount of time, get forced out of it by the enemy diving your backline, and then lose it. This seems trash as well. I do have a drink, it's just talking for this long, like, really does you in. But to be honest, this seems like the worst one so far. I don't see why you ever need either of these upgrades. This is in theory very good, but Smite's a mobile game. You're going to get forced out of the area very quickly. We have Tainted Steel. This is the anti-heal item, right. Physical and magical power available to both classes, very important. 15 of each prots. Good stats. Very good stats. A little bit of power and 15 of each prots is very good for early game stats. Enemy gods that you hit have their healing reduced by 20%. Tainted Breastplate. 40 power, 40 physical power, 60 magical power, 30 magical protection, 70 physical protection. Enemy gods have the healing reduced by 50% for 6 seconds. 30 power, 30 physical power, 50 magical power, 80 magical protection. So this is the one that skews more magical. So my guess would be when you upgrade this, you choose based on if you want to have more of like a physical skew or more of a magical skew on your protections. Enemy gods that you hit have their healing reduced by 20%, but you are healed for 100% of the healing reduced. So it's almost a bit like a Cerberus passive in a way. This used to be 60% in the data mining, they reduced it to 50%. I've said before in videos, if you guys have watched any of my starter item review videos, that I hate this item, and I still do. The fact that you can buy this and a Brawlers, and that's 85%, because they nerf Brawlers to 35. And you just, it's just hit. So you buy Divine Ruin, you hit someone with a Scylla one, they're 85% anti-healed immediately. That just seems kind of ridiculous to me. You love the art? Yeah, the art is really good, honestly. Look at this art, dude. Like, even just this. Oh, I'm in full screen. But, like, yeah, the art looks really amazing, honestly.